what makes your child the unique person he or she is? Here are 5 more of the jigsaw puzzle pieces of what makes your child uniquely who she is. I'm going to again use Roots of Empathy by Mary Gordon, where she discusses the 9 traits that Chase and Thomas suggest of the child's unique temperament, how different aspects of this wave together. So what I'm going to do is just take 5 of those tonight, 5 of those to look at an acronym I've created, RADAR, and thinking of the BAT and how radar is just really helpful for the BAT to do what it needs to do in life. But also, of course, that very same BATness can have extreme disadvantages in some situations, in bright light, for instance. So the temperaments aren't right or wrong, they're just who that person uniquely is. So let's use the RADAR acronym for the first 5 of these temperament traits. R, regularity or rhythmicity. A, activity level. D, distractibility. R, reaction to frustration. We'll look at those one by one. So first of all, the first R, regularity or rhythmicity. We all know some children right from a young age, they're the ones who just get into a regular pattern of sleeping, of eating. We often think of them as being easy because of that, but it's the child's natural pattern. And for some children, they have a lower level of regularity. It's not right or wrong, it just is. But for those children, it can be harder for them to create patterns in their lives. And very often those children will have more of a tendency to be disorganized. So that's the R. The A is activity level, the first A. Some children just have that really high energy level, on the go all the time. The child who can't sit still, who wiggles, who taps, who fidgets. Those children have a high level of activity, but some children have a much lower level. They're children who can stay quietly involved in activity for a long time. So R, regularity or rhythmicity. A, activity level. D, distractibility. How easily is a child distracted from something they are focused on? Some children have a high level of distractibility, and if you're trying to get them to do homework or something, that can be frustrating. But at the same time, that distractibility has strengths as well. Distractibility helps the child to see the big picture, not just to focus in on the one thing. But of course, those are the children who find it hard to finish a task. Whereas other children with a lower level of distractibility are less easily distracted. But interestingly, they also can be less easy to distract on something that is bugging them. If they're sort of caught up in a negative emotion or focused on something they're not happy about, they can be so focused in their discomfort that it's hard to move them on from that. And also the child with a low level of distractibility can sometimes be oblivious to the needs of others. So there's pluses and minuses on both sides with a lot of these. So R, regularity. A, activity. D, distractibility. A, the second A, adaptability. How easily does your child adjust to a situation? Some children go with the flow. They're easy children, where some children with a lower level of adaptability. Let me say that again. Some children with a lower level of adaptability get upset with changes. They're more prone to having a meltdown. They need warning when there's going to be change. If there is an unexpected change, especially to plans that have been made, they can be very disappointed. Also, those children find it hard to deal with transitions, not just the big transitions like moving house or going on holiday, but also the smaller transition, just leaving home in the morning to go to school or coming home and so on. So if we as parents are more aware of the child's level of adaptability, we'll be more tuned into what the child needs at that time. And the second R on that is reaction to frustration, what we could call persistence as well. When a child is in a situation where something isn't easily resolved, when they find it hard to keep their attention and their focus on a task, For those children with a high reaction, they'll get frustrated, they'll get upset, they might throw in the task and refuse to do it. And some children, of course, can keep going and find it easier to keep focused on a task. But for those children who do have a strong reaction to frustration, they really need a parent or parent figure there to encourage them, to support them at times when it is challenging for them. And what I call a coaching parent, a parent who's helping them to think about the long-term goal, and also who can be with them in that moment when the frustration starts rising, helping them to breathe, helping them to choose calm, and also helping them just to think logically, okay, what's the very next thing you need to do, for instance, is a helpful question. So those are the 5 traits we're looking at today: radar, regularity, activity level, distractibility, adaptability, and reaction to frustration. How does this tie in with your experience with parenting? Love to have your comments. We're going to continue next week and talk about the other 4. But in the meantime, look forward to hearing your feedback on what's coming up for you in listening to this and recognizing some of these traits, either high or low, and how they weave together in your child's experience.